What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the Gunner Beat channel. I guess that's the first time I can really say that, but it's certainly not going to be the last. Today I'm going to bring you a post-match reaction as well as player ratings following Arsenal's 2-1 victory over Forest in match week 1. Let's get into it. 2-1 to the Arsenal at home in front of the Emirates crowd. Should have been maybe 30 minutes earlier. I feel bad for everybody that was victim of those new ticketing systems that you had to wait in line for maybe even hours on end, but that's neither here nor there. We walked away with 3 points, and that's what counts. Was it the greatest show on the pitch? Not really, but I don't think that was to be expected, or reasonably for that matter, for the first match of the year. Look, we have 3 marquee signings, maybe even 4 with Raya, in terms of in and out, or regulars and mainstays in the starting 11, right? So we had a preseason, but a preseason can only prepare us and take you so far. And I think Mikel rightfully experimented and tried something out today, and today was the day to do it. And were we super dominant the entire game? No. Do the stats maybe tell that story? Box score wise, maybe. But I think we got off to a little bit of a slower start, feeling each other the first 10, 15 minutes, and then really for a middle third, we were dominant. And I think ultimately the defense really didn't have anything to deal with for the large part of the game. But the fact that we did concede, I think it's going to be a bit of a wake-up call. And really avoiding comfortable complacency is an important lesson to learn, and the fact that we had, a great start to the game but then tailed off a little bit, I think brings up some memories of last season, and I'd rather have the players and the staff have to face and confront this the first match of the year and just learn moving forward and to really keep the intensity and just to improve match by match. There's more positives than negatives to look forward or look beyond and take with us from this game. And with that being said, now let's go into the player ratings. All right, so starting in the defense, I think Ramsdale, not much to work with the entire game, obviously. I mean, I think he actually did have a couple moments of good distribution, which is a great sign considering Raya's coming in, and I'm sure, and we all know he's more than motivated and up to the challenge to fight for his spot as the #1 keeper. We'll see how the rotation pans out in the league, Champions League, Cup competitions. But overall, I think Ramsdale, just a solid 6. Nothing too special. Going left to right, I think Timber, this was the worst performance I think he's had thus far. He actually didn't really, in my view, come into the fold until around the 10th, 15th minute when I even noticed him on the ball, because that's so much of a deviation from how we were used to seeing him play as in a real inverted fullback role in all preseason. And obviously he was in a different role on the left and more consistently staying back as a part of a back 3. But I think ultimately a 5, given that's new territory, it's understandable. I think it's just brutal. It gets compounded by the yellow card he picked up whilst injuring himself at the same time and then re-injuring it in the second half. God, I hope he's okay and he doesn't miss too long. And if he is to miss time, hopefully Zinchenko becomes fit enough to return to his left-hand role. Saliba, I think Saliba had a solid game. Again, given the lack of opportunities and the 80% possession, it's not like there's too many moments to go off of, but he had a couple where off the counter, he was the last man back, and Willow, the Rolls-Royce center back, as we all like to call him, he held his own. There was, I guess, the fluke Brennan Johnson header offsides mix-up or up in the air chance that almost led to something, but I'm not holding that too much against Willow. I think really he gets a 6.5, relatively the best defender, because frankly his contribution in stepping in, recovering possession in the corner to allow really the game-winning, match-winning goal from Saka, setting him up for that beautiful finesse into the top corner. White, I think it was interesting seeing Ben White back in a true center back role. I think, ironically, his best moment was actually more on his natural flank, that we were so used to seeing him in a great job last season, match in, match out, where he kind of just put a beautiful low-driven cross into the box. Just didn't have any service, unfortunately, toward the end of the first half there. I think a solid 6. And then the same goes for Partey. I think Partey, we saw that role of like an inverted right back kind of take shape toward the end of last season, but I think ultimately it's not going to be where we see him too frequently this year. Although, who knows, maybe the propensity of some teams to park the bus given our style of play, who knows. But I think Partey, him and White might get highly criticized because of the break that led to the Langa chance, and then converted by Awoni to a goal. But I think Partey, he showed his prowess in really our possession, stepping in, gaining control, even fighting through a foul and shrugging off a Forest player like it was nothing in the 20th minute. So overall, I'm not going to crucify. We got the win. Another 6 goes to Partey. Transitioning to our midfield. Wow. Rice looked as good as he has by far in an Arsenal kit. I think just his engine, if you will, the work rate, the powerhouse of a force he was. You could see, I feel like every time the Forest did have a little bit of a break, it was all of a sudden, boom, you see this guy running into your screen, right into the thick of things, laying down a tackle, or really just more so stepping a foot in, and he always seemingly knows the exact right spot when to and when to not. It's that compass, if you will, of Declan Rice that is just really going to be the driving force of our midfield and the glue for really the team for this whole season. Havertz, I think people are giving him a lot more criticism than I think he deserves. The reality is, I think both him and Odegaard both showed their playmaking ability, and although they weren't quite up to the 7.5 of a Declan Rice, I think a solid 6 for each, because they more than showed what they're capable of and the passes that they can pick and really the hold-up play almost, if you will. And I think with Havertz, he's acclimating to a whole new system, a whole new team. Just give him some time. I think he'll be absolutely fine. And our captain, he captained us to a victory, so that's some brownie points in and of itself. So 6s for those two midfields. The attack, going left to right, well, really, how about outside in? Because our star boys and Gabby Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, unbelievable. Game in and game out last year, they showed, they were the 2 top goal assist contributors in the team, and did they give us confidence for the rest of the season going ahead, showing that they're hitting the ground running. Although Martinelli, that really, along with Timber, that whole left side had got off to a little bit of a slow start, or wasn't really a focal point much at all the first 10-15 minutes, but really it was Martinelli's brilliance, that the skill right outside the box, just go right, slice like freaking hot knife through butter, right through 2 Forest defenders. Oh my God. And then setting up that assist to Eddie, who, kudos to Eddie for taking this chance and converting. And if he can just keep up the form that he showed today and being able to contribute a goal, I mean, that'll be absolutely ginormous as Gabby Jesus recovers from his injury. So 7.5 for Martinelli, 7 for Nketiah, and then last but certainly not least, Bukayo Saka, Starboy himself, man of the match. I think I have to give him an 8. Maybe it's a little bit high, but that goal, I mean, world class. Just emphatically stamping his footprint on every game, it seems like. And is that going to be an issue, though, the over-reliance? We'll see. Maybe we get a right winger or just cover like a Kudos in the remaining weeks of the window. We'll see. But for as far as this match, 3 points that we got, which his goal proved crucial, man of the match performance, and I know there's going to be many, many more to come for Bukayo the rest of the season. Can only dream of what it'll be like in those Champions League nights. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you feel so inclined, like, subscribe, and really comment. Drop a comment down below. Who do you think was the man of the match? Just your own player ratings based on this performance today. And really give me a rating out of 10 on how bad this video was and what I can do to improve going forward. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, check out my first video in my Premier League season predictions. Have a great one. See you in the next one.